जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी जय कुंज जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी धम विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रजजनरंजना जय यशो जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रजजनरंजना जय जय यमुनतीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी जय जय कुंज विहारी जय यमुनतीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी हरि जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गोपी वल्लभ जय गिरिवरा जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी गिरिवराधारी राधारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा जय कुंज हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Ram Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Nita 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 Nitai Gaurango Nitai Nitai Gaurango Gaura Hari Nitai Gaurango Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Nana Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Nana Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari Patita Pavana Gaura Hari Patita Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Gurudev परिविराज का आचार्य स्तोत्र शतमत जीवन ग्रेस चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत महाराज प्रपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीपीट फाउंडर आचार्य हो चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत महाराज प्रपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। राधा कृष्ण गोगोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिगोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्री राधा माधव अष्टसख वृंद की जय। श्री पंचतत्व भगवान की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Yasyanubhavamakala srutisāramekam Adhyātmadīpamatitīṣitāṃ tamondham samsārinām karunayā purānaguhyam tam yāsasūnumupayāmi gurum munīnām नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Try, as and whenever we say Om, try to bring the voice from the navel portion, not from the lips. That is the way of pronouncing the Om. The gone days, all the sages, when they pronounce mantra, they recite, take the life air from bottom of the spinal cord to the up, that by reciting. So, Om has to be recited, bring the voice from the navel portion. You feel yourself happy. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Which was today? 35? Huh? 35. Thank you. Today we will discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto. Second canto dealing with cosmic manifestation. Visarga. Bhagavatam, any scripture, any Purana to come to be in the category of the Mahapurana. How many Puranas we have? Many Puranas. Ati Purana, Upapurana, Mahapurana, Purana. Different categories are there. But any Purana to come to the category of the Mahapurana, it must discuss 10 subject matters. In the same canto, 10th chapter, first verse, Śukadeva Gosvāmī gives Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshana utaya manvantarishanu katha nirodho mukti asraya. These are 10 subjects. Sarga, primary creation. Visarga, secondary creation, which is cosmic manifestation. Primary creation means all the ingredients required for the creation of this material universe are created by Mahavishnu. That is how the creation of Virat Swarupa or Garbhodaksha Vishnu, we will read in the next 2 chapters. Come up. So secondary creation means the creation done by Brahma. All the ingredients are there. Now Brahma, according to the karma, he gives the body to the living entity. That is Visarga. Then Manvan, Sthanam, different planetary systems. How the Lord is maintaining Poshana. Utaya means creative impetus. 5th canto, Śrīla Prabhupada gives creative impetus. Then what are the Manvantara stories? How the Lord takes incarnation? What are the activities of the Lord when he takes incarnate in each incarnation? Ishanukatha, pastimes of the Lord. Nirodha, or the annihilation of the universe. Types of annihilation or devastation. Mukti, liberation. Then finally the asraya means to get the liberation, whom should we take shelter of? Lord explains how the liberation, but to get the liberation, whom should we take? If the God, what is the God? What is the Bhagavata? That is 10th canto. So these 10 subjects are there. The 11th canto of the Bhagavatam details transcendental, though it is written history, it is a completely transcendental knowledge, Brahma Jnana you can say. So this is cosmic manifestation, Śrīla Prabhupada gives the word. So verse 35, the chapter is the Lord in heart. Chapter text 35. Bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu lakṣitaḥ svātmanā hariḥ dṛśyair buddhi-ādibhir draṣṭā lakṣaṇair anumāpakaiḥ bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu lakṣitaḥ svātmanā hariḥ dṛśyair buddhi-ādibhir draṣṭā lakṣaṇair anumāpakaiḥ bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu lakṣitaḥ svātmanā hariḥ dṛśyair buddhi-ādibhir draṣṭā lakṣaṇair anumāpakaiḥ bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu lakṣitaḥ svātmanā hariḥ dṛśyair buddhi-ādibhir draṣṭā lakṣaṇair anumāpakaiḥ bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu lakṣaṇair anumāpakaiḥ. Matajis, Vaishnavis. Bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu lakṣitaḥ svātmanā hariḥ dṛśyair dṛśyaiḥ draṣṭā lakṣaṇair anumāpakaiḥ bhagavān sarva-bhūteṣu sva-ātmanā dṛśyair buddhi-ādibhir Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, sarva, all, bhūteṣu, in the living entities, lokai, lakṣitaḥ, is visible. Sva-ātmanā, along with the self. Hariḥ, the Lord, dṛśyair, by what is seen, buddhi-ādibhir, by intelligence, draṣṭā, one who sees, lakṣaṇair, by different signs, anumāpakaiḥ, by hypothesis. Translation purport by Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. The general argument of the common man is that since the Lord is not visible to our eyes, how can one either surrender unto him or render transcendental loving service unto him? To such a common man, here is a practical suggestion given by Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī as to how one can perceive the Supreme Lord by reason and perception. Actually, the Lord is not perceivable by our present material senses. But when one is convinced of the presence of the Lord by the practical service attitude, there is a revelation by the Lord's mercy, and such a pure devotee of the Lord can perceive the Lord's presence always and everywhere. He can perceive that intelligence is the form, direction of the Paramātmā, plenary portion of the Personality of Godhead. The presence of the Paramātmā in everyone's company is not difficult to realize, even for the common man. The procedure is as follows. One can perceive one's self-identification and feel positively that he exists. He may not feel it very abruptly, but by using a little intelligence, he can feel that he is not the body. He can feel that the hand, the leg, the head, the hair, and the limbs are all his bodily parts and parcels. But as such, he, the hand, the leg, the head, etc., cannot be identified with his self. Therefore, just by using intelligence, he can distinguish the separate his self from other things that he sees. So, the natural conclusion is that the living being, either man or beast, is the seer, and he sees besides himself all other things. So there is a difference between the seer and seen. Now, by a little use of the intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees the things beyond himself by ordinary vision has no power to see or to move independently. All our ordinary activities, actions, and perceptions depend on the various forms of the energy supplied to us by nature in various combinations. Our senses of perception and of action, that is to say, our 5 perceptive senses, hearing, touch, sight, taste, smell, as well as the 5 senses of action or working senses, namely hands, legs, speech, evacuation, organs, and reproductive organ, and also our 3 subtle senses, namely mind, intelligence, and ego, total 13 in all, are supplied to us by various arrangements of the gross and subtle forms of the material energy. And it is equally evident that our subjects of perception are nothing but the products of the inexhaustible permutation and combinations of the forms taken by the natural energy. As this conclusively proves that the ordinary living being has no independent power of perception of motion, and as we undoubtedly feel our existence being conditioned by nature's energy, we conclude that he who sees in spirit is spirit, and that the senses as well as the objects of perception are material. The spiritual quality of the seer is manifest in our dissatisfaction with the limited state of materially conditioned existence. That is the difference between spirit and matter. There are some less intelligent arguments that matter develops the proper power of seeing and moving. Very long process. Certain organic development, but such an argument cannot be accepted because there is no experimental evidence that matter has anywhere produced living entity. The very long purport, we'll see the time. Om ajnanatimmirandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chachurmilitam yena tasmai sri mukam karoti vachalam pangham langhayate girim yatkrupatamaham vande Sri Gurum Deenataranam Paramanandamadhavam Sri Chaitanyamishwaram Sri Chaitanyamanobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. This prayer is for whom? We are offering every day. For whom we are offering this prayer? Rupa Gosvāmī. We are followers of the Rupa Gosvāmī. Yeah? That's why we are offering prayer to Rupa Gosvāmī. Then we offer prayer to all Guru Parampara. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Cha Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Kṛṣṇa Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desatarini He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि वंशी विभूषितकरानल नीरजाव पीताम्बरादरुणबिम्बफलादरोष पूर्णेन्दु सुंदर मुखादर विंद नेत्र कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने ध्येयं सदा परिभवग्न अभिष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरञ्चिनुतां शरण्यं भृत्यार्थं प्रणतपालभवाब्धिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दं वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna to all the wonderful devotees of the Lord. In the age of Kali, ready to get the association of the devotees. And fortunately, we are fortunate by the mercy of Śrīla Prabhupada, we are always in association with the devotees. Getting association of Vaishnava is very, very rare. Narada Maharshi says that, who will get the association of a Vaishnava? Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena satsangamam chalabhate purusho yadavai ajnana hetu krutamo amadandakara nasham vidhaya tato deye viveka. Just to get the association of the devotee or Vaishnava, when you perform pious activities for many lifetimes, bhajanma means many lifetimes, the end result of all the pious activity result, collective result is that we get association of a devotee which we call satsang. Sat means eternal, the one who exists in the three phases of the time, past, present and future, or before creation, during creation, after total devastation of creation also, the one who exists is the Sat. That one is Kṛṣṇa, Rama, Narayana, whatever you can say, Hari, Vishnu Tattva. Anyone devotee of that Sat is a sadhu. Taking association of Sat sadhu is Satsanga. Okay? So that Satsanga, getting association of Vaishnava is very rare. Only fortunate people get it. And you all are the devotee, getting association of devotees more for blissful and great fortune that we get association of Vaishnavas. So this is, we all know, in the beginning, end of the first canto, 9th canto, Śrīla Gosvāmī appeared on the scene. Paricit Maharaj asked one question. What duty or what activities one should do at the time of the death, and the birth of the death, Devanaya. So in answer to that one second, then whole Bhagavatam. And then after explaining, he says that, Tasmad Bharata sarva-ātmanā bhagavān īśvaro hari srotavya kirtitavyascha smarasacche chata bhayam. Bhaya, fear. If one want to be freed from the fearful existence of this material world, one should hear, srotavya, glorify, and remember the Lord, who? Hari. What is the cause of the bhaya? Fear. What is the cause of the fear? Yes, ignorance, nearby you are approaching. Moha, attachment. I know that I have to die. Now I am 81, I am about to die. But still I don't want to die. I got the attachment to the body, anything related to the body. Be always afraid, oh, if I die, what will happen to my family, children? And if I leave the family and go become sannyas, what will happen to me? So always we are attached. Where the attachment is there, the fear will come. And our capability to use our intelligence properly also diminishes. You can see the doctor, if their children become sick, serious, they don't give medicine themselves. They send to other doctors. Am I right? Because the attachment or affection for the child, intelligence doesn't work properly. So where our intelligence? One Mataji asked me in South Africa, I was asking, did you buy the Bhagavatam? His Maharaj bought it. But I don't want to read some chapters, not good. Bhagavatam. What is that? They say that woman is less intelligent. Many questions, India also they ask him. It is not that. Though it is little out of topic, we have to talk, we have to know it. In the Vedic literature, the women, ladies are given the highest position. In the world, there is no word greater than the mother. You can see anywhere. There is no word more greater than powerful than the word mother. And always we use the word mother. Do we say Kṛṣṇa Radha or Radha Kṛṣṇa? Sita Ram, Uma Maheshwar. Without energy, there is no energetic. Who is the present deity of the Gayatri? Man or woman? Means energy. Presiding deity of education? So, means without that energy, the cosmic universe cannot be maintained. And that highest word in the Vedic literature is Mata. That's why mother being the first guru. The mother orders cannot be disobeyed by anyone at any cost. The scripture is not me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas, he wanted to go Vrindavan. By the trick of Nityananda Prabhu, he came to Shantipur. Is it? We all know it. When he met in the house of Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met, paid obeisance. Mother, I made a mistake of taking sannyas without your permission. Now you tell me whatever you say, I do it. And mother said that once you take sannyas, you cannot stay in the Navadvip because it's prohibited. You can't stay in your village. So, instead of going to Vrindavan, I want you to go to Jagannath Puri because for Jagannath Puri, Bengalis always go and come back. I know about your welfare. Just because mother wanted, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gone to Jagannath. So here says the mother's highest position. I told that because of the attachment for the children, father will not have much attachment to the children. They may say, oh, I love my children, not that much. But when the child is sick somewhere far away, father doesn't feel much, but mother feels the pain. The body is part and parcel of the mother. So because of that attachment, intelligence of the Matajis, justly it doesn't work properly. That's why they say less intelligent. Otherwise they are more intelligent. So, and he asked that, then he said, after explaining everything, he said that, Jitasano, Jitasvaso, Jitasanga, Jitendriya. One should sit Jitasana, sit in a position which is comfortable to. This Prabhu is sitting class leg, I will also sit. After 1 minute, I feel pain in my legs. Then I can't concentrate. That's why I say, you must sit in a posture which is comfortable to you. And control your breathing. This is swasa. Our breathing is directly related to the mind. Here, activity is coming here in the talk, today's talk. It doesn't. So we are not in a position to see the Supreme Lord. We are not subject to material conditions, it is. It's transcendental. We are not in a position to see even the material forms also. Every one of God know that we have the mind. Anybody say it doesn't have the mind? Anybody say you don't have the mind? I got the mind. I don't want to go to mental hospital. But can you see your mind? Anybody seen the mind? If you have not seen the mind, why you accept the presence of the mind? Though it is material, still we cannot see with the material senses. We perceive, anubhuti. In the same way, the Lord presence is there, till we don't have that capability to see that Lord. Only perception, anubhuti, you can feel the presence of the Lord. Now, sometimes you can see when the kirtan going nicely, you very nicely singing, kirtan mela something. Sometimes you forget yourself. Do you feel it? That time you are completely not in the bodily consciousness. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Harinam Chintamani that when you chant the pure name of the Lord, Hare Krishna mantra purely, Radha and Krishna dancing on our tongue. Because the Lord is present there, we feel a transcendental blissfulness. You cannot describe how that happiness is there. But when you see that I am chanting Hare Krishna mantra, my mind is somewhere else in Delhi. So Radha Krishna says, this person is very busy, let me come back again. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes it. So we can see the presence of the Lord. We need such a concentration of the mind to see the Lord. And the easiest process given for us is by the acharyas. By the process of the bhakti, what is? Sarvopadi vinurmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. By serving the Lord with all the senses, all the senses, 5 perceptions, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. With all the senses, when you serve the Lord, means by thought, word and deed, manasa, vacha, karmana. When you serve using all the 3, when you serve the Lord, that is bhakti. And what is the reaction or result of that such type of a bhakti? Tat paratvena nirmalam. Result is that we get the nirmal. What is the purification? External purification takes place when we take bath, is it? But internal purification required for the realization of the absolute truth. That happens by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. Hearing, glorifying, chanting, serving. So here, we are using our mind, body and senses in the service of the Lord fully, means full attention we are serving the Lord, or you can say in the proportion to our surrender and serving the Lord, our senses will also get purified. In the same proportion. If I am fully surrendered, I have no thought other than the lotus feet of Radha Madhav, yes, Lord will make our senses purified immediately. When the senses are purified, what are the purification required? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Macharya. Kama means desires. Krodha, anger. When the desires are not fulfilled, get angry. Lobha, greediness. Moha, attachment. Mada, false ego. Macharya, enviousness. Sometimes people say that they go away, they don't go anywhere. They get purified. We never should be in the dream that when I engage in devotional search, they all go away. No. They get purified. But the moment we come to false ego, they catch us. They're always there. In the purified consciousness, we engage all our activities in the service of the Lord. In the contaminated, we engage all our senses in the service of ourselves, our material sense enjoyment. So, when these are purified, the byproduct of that contamination is either upadhi, I am a sannyasi, I am Indian, I am American, I am a temple president. These all are the bodily regrets, nothing to do with the soul. So one should be freed of this bodily understanding. Then, at the time we are completely freed from the dehatma buddhi, bodily consciousness, then we are situated in the pure devotional service or atma bhuta sthiti. So, at that time, the same material senses we can use or we can see or perceive the Supreme Lord presence. Just like our Acharyas, Rupa Gosvāmī, Raghunath Das Gosvāmī, Sanatana Gosvāmī, you can see their pastimes when they meditate, even Jayadev Goswami, they all are the Rasika Bhaktas. Depending upon the what mood we are serving the Lord, in the pure consciousness, Lord will reveal Himself to that mood. I am serving the Lord in the mood as a servant, Lord will reveal the servant pastimes. Rasik Bhakta, because they are in the mood of the Madhurya Bhava, Lord will reveal. Whenever Jayadev Goswami meditates upon Radha and Kṛṣṇa, being Madhurya Bhava, he used to see Radha and Kṛṣṇa dancing on the banks of the Yamuna and used to write poems. Rupa Goswami was also Madhurya Bhava. Whenever he meditates, he can see Radha and Kṛṣṇa. So, the material body there is contaminated, but when he engages this material body in the service of the Lord, then we can see the Lord. Till that time we can perceive or feel the presence of the Lord. How? Srila Prabhupada gave a nice example in the Purport. If we say, what he say? It is hand. Is it? Whose hand? Do we say it is my hand or I am the hand? Why I don't say I am the hand, I am mouth? Everyone, even child, even uneducated, say, my hand, my mouth, my body, my name. So Prabhupada tried to explain that one should see, understand, perceive the presence of the Lord. How? We have to see that who is that I who says that is my hand, my body. It means the one who is saying is separating from this body. If I am in the house, I come and ask you, oh, this is your house? Yes, it is my house. You don't say, I am the house. You don't say it. Because you are separate from the house, you say, it is my house. In the same way, somebody in this body also says, it is my body, my hand, my eyes, my legs. But who is that I? When we understand, think it, that means this I somewhere, someone else, who is not related to this body. That I, we all know, Mamai Vansho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, being part and parcel of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and that is there which he says I, which we say Atma. Attribute of the Atma is the consciousness. We cannot see the Lord presence Atma because we don't have that capability, purification required to see the Atma. But we can feel the presence. How? By the consciousness. So long as this Atma, this soul is there in this body, the body can move, talk, everything. The moment the soul leaves the body, it is the inertia, it cannot move even, which we say death. Person who died is lying in front of us, we know, he got all the limbs. Only thing, he doesn't talk or see. If somebody says there is no oxygen, put 5-10 gas cylinders, oxygen cylinders, he won't get up. The divine energy, which we say, oxygen, whatever we say, the divine energy of the Lord, which is attribute of the soul, is not there. Soul leaves the body becomes a matter, inertia, which we say death. When the soul enters the body, soul is active. So by logic, understanding and interpreting, one can understand that there is something invisible, divine, which cannot be perceived or anything, but we can understand that something is present is there, and that is Atma. And along to make the Atma capable of doing the work, capability, then the super soul, Paramātmā, is also within our heart. In the Bhagavatam say, Bhagavatam also many places give the example how the Lord stays in our heart also. Okay. So here we can see in the beginning, so we can feel that there's something great which is capable of making this soul to be active. Otherwise, if there is no super soul, every one of us is supposed to be intelligent only. Same category? Is it? Why the difference in the intelligence and capabilities? So depending upon our activity karma, the super soul, he gives that intelligence to the Lord. 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 23rd verse, if I am not wrong, what he says? Upadrishtānamanta cha bharta bhakta maheshwara. So Lord said that I am, as the super Paramātmā, as the super soul, I am watching and give the permission to do activities. The soul is acting under the guidance of the or directions of the super soul, which is Paramātmā. So Śrīla Prabhupada trying to explain that in that way one should analytically study and do it. Sankhya Yoga philosophy, but one we have to analytical study what is the difference between body and the divine. Okay. And it is equally evident that our objects, all time up. Okay. The spirit quality of the seer and manifest in our dissatisfaction with the limited state of materially condition. This is the difference between spirit and matter. Okay. So in the 11th canto also Lord Kṛṣṇa, while instructing to Uddhava, said that one should be just a seer. How I know that I am present in this. Sometimes we get the dream. Is it? Sometimes somebody is chasing me. I am running out of fear. Maybe tiger is chasing. I am running, sweating. I am running, I am watching. Does it happen in dream? We all see it. I am running, I am sweating, I am seeing also. So Lord want to say that you are the observers here. Okay, just see it. What is happening? So here also, when you come to the state, here also said, one should be seer only. Then only we can see what it is. It may not happen in one day, but when we take up the process, as Śrīla Prabhupada has given us, the process of devotional service, in the beginning also, previous verses mentioned that Śukadeva Gosvāmī said that understood that the only devotional service, the only, status also, before this 34th verse also, it mentioned that the only devotional service to the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa was capable of seeing the Lord. It means Lord can be seen only by the devotional service. Lord can be understood only by the devotional service. As we all know, Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter 53rd verse, what Kṛṣṇa said after having shown universal form, what he said? Naham veda na tapasa na dani na chejjaya shakyevam vidho dṛṣṭvān api mam yata. Arjun, what you have seen my universal form, my divine form, 400 form, and this 200 form of the Lord, it cannot be seen by study of the Vedas, tapasya, worshipping and charity. But how one can see? The next verse says, 54 says that, Bhaktyatananyaya shakya ahamevo vidorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tattvena pravishtam cha parantapa. Only tva ananya, by no other means but only by the process of the devotional service to lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa, one can see the Lord, draṣṭā. We can understand the Lord, we can enter into the Lord. Because by understanding the Lord in tattva, in reality, truth, that is possible only by devotional service. One has to understand the tattva of the Supreme Lord. Yes, pastimes of the Lord is very beautiful, yes, attraction. But what is the tattva, what is behind it, that one? Lord says that I will reveal that tattva of mine only by the devotee. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyatma tattvataha. Tato mam tattvato jnatva vishtetanatra. Lord used the words tattva in a few places. In the 4th chapter also says, what he says? Janma karma cha me divyam tattvataha. So one has to know the Lord's pastimes and appearance in truth. Oh, Lord Kṛṣṇa very nicely killed the Kaliya, very nice. It's good. It gives attraction to us. By hearing such pastimes, the senses get purified. When purified, then we have to think, what is the message Lord wants to give us? Lord, every activity, there are some messages we have to understand. In the 9th canto, after having explained the Lord Sri Ram's pastimes, Śukadeva Gosvāmī says very wonderfully, Before reading that one, I never could understand how important it is. Purusho Ramacharitam Sravanai Upadharayan Anrusham Saparo Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchate. After hearing the whether it's Rama Krishna, hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, one should apply those teachings in our heart, Upadharayan. If at all we want to change ourselves fully to the transcendental aspects of our devotional service, pure devotional service, one should try to apply the teachings of that pastimes of the Lord. Then we become anushamsa. Nushamsa means creality. The creality is not the quality of human being. It is the demonic. You can see 16th chapter, verses 1 to 3 of Bhagavad Gita, or 11th chapter of the 7th canto, where Narada Maharshi explains 30 qualities of human being. They know what cruelty. Human being, they know provision for cruelty. It is for the demonic mentality people. It means that's why here says that if one hears the pastimes of the Lord, then apply to change himself, then he will be freed of the cruelty, anushamsa. Then he becomes human being. Then he will become dear to the Lord. He will be freed from the reaction of the karma and go back to spiritual world. Okay, it is a long purport. The time is already up. Any question, you are welcome to ask. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for an informative, is it working? Informative class. I'd like to know whose feet we can touch, and male and female, like you spoke about Prahlad Maharaj touching Nrsimha's feet.
I'm not getting clearly.
Hare Krishna. I'm wondering whose feet are we allowed to touch? Because, you know, in India they all dive for your feet, but sometimes it's not correct. But I would like to know whose feet we can touch, when, and male, female. Like, there's mercy in touching feet. So I just want some clarification on touching feet.
See, in the spiritual level, when we reach a certain stage of the spiritual purity, there's no body, one will be free of the bodily consciousness. In the beginning, we are not that level. Okay. That's being the reason, say, okay, but you need not to touch, we can pay obeisances. Touching only it gives a blessing is not like that one. Okay. What is blessing required is our surrender. If I go to spiritual master, need not to touch the feet. Okay. If you can touch, okay, it shows the humility. But I can also paying the obeisance itself shows the humility. Okay. So because in the beginning we are not the transcendentally situated, in the bhakti one has to be cautious. First, that's why there's a prohibition. Otherwise there's nothing like that. Once you reach a certain high stage, like Śrīla Prabhupada, for him anybody can touch the feet, it doesn't affect him. Rather the one who touching you get the mercy. Okay, Mataji? This is you wanted? Yes, ma'am. My hearing is a little poor, old age.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for your class today. I wanted to ask, you mentioned different upadhis that we may have, like I'm a temple president, or I am this or that. Different upadhis that we may have.
Sir, can you go slowly?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Maharaj, for your class. You mentioned in your class that we may have different upadhis, meaning like I am this, or I am that, I am temple president, or I am, like even, you know, it's not eternal. So I would like to ask you how to have that presence of mind in the sense that in our Vaishnava dealings of like being away from these, being our true self, not being like actors. That
if I understand, Mataji want to know what this designations, is it? You are talking about the designation, I am president, I am so and so.
Yeah, how to have that presence.
See, one should think whether president or anyone, one should feel that it is service to Prabhupada, it is service to Radha Madhava. It is not to dominate someone, it is guidance. Means like a head of the family, they are not to control and discipline, punish. No, to see that everybody moves the family in the harmoniously. So in the management also, he is the first servant of the community of the Lord. Feeling of the president should be, I am the first servant to all the devotees. Why? First, because any problem they come to me. So in that mood, if you serve, we don't get the false ego. If you say, I am the president, whatever I say, you must obey, otherwise take him out, then I will get false ego. And it's not very far away, I will fall down. The ego, even devotees also, ego is very subtle by nature. I heard some devotee say, hey, I'm chanting 64 rounds a day. One devotee in Vrindavan some years before was telling him, yes, good, very chanting 64 rounds, very nice in Vrindavan. But why I is coming up? In the English, whenever I comes capital letter, is it? We have to bring the small I. I could have said that by the mercy of my spiritual master and Vaishnavas, I am trying to chant 64 rounds. We are not capable of chanting 64 rounds nicely. We are fill up the blank, time passing. If you chant 64 rounds, pure chanting, you won't be here. So that is, mood should be that any position, whether it's service or sannyasi, guru, it is service. As a guru also, it is service to the devotees. It's service to the community of Prabhupada. It is. Guru can also, it is service. Gukara andakara rakara tannirodhaka. Gu means it is darkness in the mode of ignorance. The one who elevates is the dependence from the darkness, ignorance to the mode of goodness and give the transcendental knowledge is a guru. What for? To serve the Lord. But everywhere there is service attitude is not to the controlling it is. But unfortunately Maya is so strong that if I want to become controller, because it says, hey, you are a big person. You are sannyasi, you are going, everybody should pay obeisance. You feel very, very big. And one day I put my head up and fall down. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj wrote in that we have to be very careful. If some people are giving too much respect to you, are paying obeisances, you be cautious that it become a cause of your fall down also. I think what is surrender to know? Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, do you remember? I forget the book name. So it is service, Mata. I hope it is. Can you stop here? Yes, Mata.
Thank you, Maharaj. Can you kindly please explain the difference between the tattva of understanding and knowing, the tattva of Kṛṣṇa, and the jnani's knowledge, the difference between the two?
Jnana is the knowledge you acquire from reading. Vijnana is the realized knowledge. There are so many things we don't find in the books. The college we go to, the books are there, lecturers are telling us the same, but sometimes they tell something which is not in the books. But when analyzed critically, that's correct. So, the Vijnana. Then, when you have the realized knowledge, then you will try to understand the Tattva, and Lord says Tattva can be understood when you fully surrender and engage in my service. It means when we are completely free of this bodily consciousness, then Lord will reveal. Depending upon how much we surrender, how much the purity, in the same proportion, it reveals as a super soul. Lord says in the 10th chapter, 11th verse, what he says? Tesham evan kampartha aham ajnanajam. Say that to show my anukampa mercy to the devotees as a super soul, I will reveal myself. That revelation depends upon how much we are maintaining the purity, service and all this. Okay, Mata?
I meant the difference between the regular knowledge of the jnanis and the tattva that you're talking about Kṛṣṇa.
Jnana, the bhakti is not subject to the jnana karma. Prabhupada Goswami says that we should be free of the jnana karma. Rather, they depend on the bhakti. When you get the purified bhakti, pure devotional service, the super soul by the nature is Satchidananda Swarupa. It means all knowledge. But identifying with the body, it feels not Vismruti it is. But when you come to the free of the bodily consciousness, we are coming to the natural position, then the soul knows everything. One need not to study the books. But we are not at that level, we are at the preaching mission. That's why we read it. If that only I want to get delivered mercy of the Lord, you don't need to read, just do the attentive chanting, stress on the reading. But there is no time limit. When the Lord will want to reveal, then we cannot demand. It may take 1 lifetime, 10 lifetimes. But reading, associating, serving help us to hasten the process. Okay? Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki jai, Jagat Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava.